Welcome to Good Thing, Bad Thing. I am Jabby Kaway.
And it's your boy, Centel.
This is a show where two pompous, self-righteous assholes debate nonsense for your entertainment. Okay, so check this out, dude.
What's up?
This is the first poster for Bond, Spectre. Spectre.
He looked like he just had a successful dump, and he just came out and was like,
I know.
yeah, take that.
Isn't this like the weakest looking fucking poster?
You know, it's like a bite off of Archer and his black turtlenecks that he's always ranting and raving about. You ever watch the show
No, that's stolen
Archer?
from Bond. That's stolen from James Bond.
Well, I know, but you haven't seen it reiterated in a very long time with the black turtleneck. And that's what made the Archer show funny, and now they're bringing it back like, Archer, you had it right all along.
Daniel Craig has grown on me. Initially, I was so resistant and reluctant to him being James Bond.
Because he's so damn smooth and suave, man. That's a handsome bastard.
Daniel Craig is not fucking anything you just said.
Look at him, man. Look.
That's Photoshop. If you look at, to me, the perfect James Bond was Pierce Brosnan, and he had the worst fucking James Bond movies.
Well, like when he was younger, I'll give you that.
But Daniel Craig was not... And this is coming from a totally straight fucking guy. Daniel Craig was not pretty enough to be James Bond, in my opinion.
You know what makes him handsome is that dangerous element to him. There is nothing that, when you look at Pierce Brosnan, there is nothing about him that makes you fear for your life.
But that's what's so good about him.
And, I mean, you might fear that he might take your lady a little bit, but Daniel Craig, you like, man, he might take my chick and kick my ass.
Daniel Craig looks more like a real-life spy. That's not necessarily a good thing to me.
How is that not a good
because
thing?
James Bond isn't supposed to look like a real spy. He's supposed to look suave and debonair.
He does look suave, man. Look at that.
Faye, nod yes or no. Do you think Daniel Craig is handsome? She said no. No.
Yeah, but this is the same chick that picked you as a boyfriend.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
You look way more dangerous than you look handsome, and that's saying a lot. I love you, man. Please don't kick me off the show.
Let's get this shit started now.
Fucking with you.
Let's get this started. Let's see who wins this round of Good Thing, Bad Thing.
All right, go for it.
My good thing is paranoia. I don't think we have enough paranoia. I don't think people employ enough paranoia in our society. People are too fucking willy-nilly and just, walking outside, not scared of shit. I'm scared all the time. I'm afraid to go outside. When I'm driving and I see pedestrians just walking and not giving a shit about the cars, I'm like, are you fucking retarded? I'm driving a 2,000-pound killing machine. If I slip and it hits you, you're done. I get to go on and feel guilty about killing you, but I go on. You don't. You must be more aware of your surroundings. Get off your fucking cell phone and look around you and buy a fucking car. Get off the fucking street. Stop walking around.
Well, maybe it's because you're Asian and you're driving.
Dude.
I'm like 2 for 2 right now.
This is off to a really bad start.
Okay, all right. Well, how the hell is there not enough paranoia in the world?
Let's go through this, right? I got my bullet points here.
Oh, hit me with it.
A woman was sitting her grandchild who would not stop crying. So she used a power saw to cut the baby's throat.
What?
You'd think you could trust Grandma Dynamite, but no, you can't. A pregnant woman responded to a Craigslist, this is recent. A pregnant woman responded to a Craigslist ad to purchase some baby clothes, used baby clothes. The supposed owner of these baby clothes cut the baby out of the pregnant woman, which led to the unborn baby's death and the woman having to be hospitalized.
Does this happen in the United States?
Yes, she's in critical condition. A farmer put an ad on Craigslist looking to hire some people with the stipulation that they had to live on the farm. People responded to the ad, and he killed them. In Texas, a 28-year-old woman honked at a white SUV while trying to get on the freeway. They exchanged angry words for a moment before the man shot her. She survived. A sushi chef and a man got into some road rage and pulled off to the side of the road. The sushi chef took out his knife and stabbed the other driver in the face 75 times. Paranoia is a good thing. You must always be paranoid that the other fucking person might kill you. A family allowed a friend to stay at their place. This friend, while watching their kids, was mildly intoxicated and allowed one of the kids to play with his loaded gun. That kid shot his brother and killed him.
That's definitely America.
You can't even trust your children. A 21-year-old girl sued her parents for a $16,000 college tuition and won. At Walmart not too long ago, a 5-year-old pulled his mom's gun from her purse while in the shopping cart and shot his mom to death. Way back in 1865, Milwaukee News reported a farmer and his wife prepared dinner for their 19-year-old son who was outside. The mother called out to him when suddenly shots were fired through the house. The father managed to get outside while bleeding and find his son drowning in his own blood after shooting himself. That's from the New York Times. On May 29th, 2014, according to the New York Daily, a 16-year-old Virginia boy beat and stabbed his parents to death for taking away his iPod. Anybody familiar with the Jodi Arias case, who viciously killed her boyfriend and took pictures? You know who Jodi Arias is?
I've heard the name.
This is a nationwide fucking case. She like took photos like of her boyfriend in the bathroom, in the shower, right before totally slitting his throat ear to ear. This was his girlfriend. This was someone this guy dated. Like, imagine you're just showering, Trey, and, you know, Betty comes into the shower and takes a photo of you and then just slices your throat open because she feels like, who can you fucking trust? Nobody. And don't even get me started on black people and cops. There is not enough paranoia. Now, some personal, less depressing anecdotes. Mm-hmm. I was going through my classic on and on phase with my second girlfriend. When a supposed friend was trying to counsel me, saying that we just need to make, a clean break. He's like, you guys just need to stop doing this shit. Just stop seeing each other. Meanwhile, behind my back, he was trying to sleep with her. Now, later on, with the same girlfriend, I was talking to another friend of mine who I'd known since I was like 11 years old. Uh-huh. And I was telling him this shit. I was just like bitching to him, guys have other guys to bitch to.
We have drama too, ladies.
We got drama too. I was telling him all this stuff that was related to the girl I was dating, and he went and told that girl so he could try to sleep with her. Ooh. Okay. Later on, my third girlfriend, all this is related to women, as you can see. I have trust issues. I was again going through an on and off phase, and I turned to a guy I had become friends with while on set shooting this movie, and we were kind of separating. We hadn't separated yet, but we were kind of separating. And I turned to him and I'm like, look, man, I might need a place to stay because I don't know what's going to happen. And he's like, anything you need, dude, anything you need, even if it's like after midnight, you call me. You understand, man? You give me a call. Anything you need, I'm here for you. I got your back. If you need help moving, whatever it is, if you need food, if you need money, whatever, I got your back. The next day, he called her to ask her out on a date. Paranoia is a good thing, people. You cannot trust anybody. Oh, okay. Sintel has a story. Not to put you on the spot. Oh, you got a story of when you tried to break up with the girl, and she said no. Tell that story.
Oh, you talking about the one that was in the car?
Yes. Tell.
Gosh.
Tell
yeah.
it.
All right. So, I mean, I've had my own many accounts of bad breakups, and I had a young lady who we were on the outs, and it was about that time for me to end it. And I'm in the car, and I'm like, yeah, we're going in different directions. Maybe we should kind of like see other people and just end it, amicably. And she turned and looked at me, and I swear what was the most coldest, dead-hearted stare, looked me dead in my eyes. Fool, you could never quit me. And then changed the subject and started talking about the rest of our day. Like, so then we were going to go over and grab something to eat and then go shopping and this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here looking like, you just hit your crazy switch. And then super glued it so that it can't go back down. Crazy does exist. It does. It's a very real thing. And the paranoia that you have is for real, which leads me to ask a question. With all this being said, is women's intuition a real thing then?
I think to some degree it is. I don't know. Intuition's kind of a funky thing. When people go, I'm just going with my gut. I'm like, well, your gut was influenced by 30 years of external influences. So how are you going to just go with your gut? Your gut, that's a nonsense kind of thing. That's just a guess. I'm guessing this is the right way. My feelings tell me that this guess is better than the other guesses that I could be doing.
So it's a load of horse shit.
It's a bit of horse shit, but I mean, it all depends because some women just inherently know when a guy's a douche. Some women know.
She'll know soon enough.
But I don't know. That's a long.
Do men? Do we have intuition? Or is that only an X-Men power for the females?
I think we have intuition, but it also gets muddled with doubt. That's the hard part. It's like when I'm talking to a girl, if I'm hitting on someone, I know when it's just not happening. I know when a girl's just totally not interested, and I can read those signs. A lot of guys can't. A lot of guys just keep going and going and going, and they scare the girl off. It's like, it's just not going to happen, dude. Like, she's not interested. You got to learn how to not keep doing that. I'd say it just depends, person to person, man. Not all people are the same. So, not all men are the same. Not all women are the same.
I think everything that you said is spot on. There's a lot of crazy fucked up shit that's happening in this world. But you know what I also think is going on? I think the percentage of crazy has remained constant throughout time. And I think that it seems like there's a hell of a lot more crazy going on right now because A, the population is like 100 times what it was 1,000 years ago.
Internet.
Yep. B, and the big one is social networking through the internet. So we get an opportunity to not only hear the stories about the crazy people, but have nice, awesome little videos to go along with it too.
It trips you out. It fucks with your head a lot.
Yeah.
Because hearing it like from a person who heard it from a person who heard it from a person, a country away is one thing.
Yeah.
But seeing it video live, getting their throat cut open, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it is a totally different thing from a person. Because I have a story with a friend of mine. You always hear the story of a friend of mine who knows a friend who tells me this story, and I've heard a million times about people who had a friend that got caught doing like illegal downloading and stuff like that. And I actually dated a young lady a while ago who did have her door kicked in.
Shit, are you serious?
Yeah, by the Alphabet Boys, the FBI. They came in there and took all of her electronic equipment, had a big fat manila envelope with everything that she had actually downloaded. Like, I know firsthand. Now, obviously, you guys out there in the internet, I know a guy who was on the internet who said this, but for me personally, there was no degree of separation. It was right there in my face. I know this person.
Right.
So... And I'm not gonna lie, in my younger Napster years, I'd partake in Napster and had fun when Napster was doing its thing back in like '96 and stuff like that. But now I'm sitting and I'm thinking about like the consequences of what that could have been.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh my God.
Well, yeah, they randomly select someone to make an example of.
Right.
You can't even trust the government, dude. You can't even trust the government. Like, okay, I would consider police to be part of the government. Now, I'm not saying all police are bad. I think there's a lot of good police officers out there, and the bad ones make a really bad name for all of the police,
right?
Because all you hear in the news are the bad police officers. You don't hear in the news about the good ones.
There's not that many.
Oh no, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think there's a lot of bad police officers, but I don't think they make up the whole police force of America. And you don't know when you're going to get one of those bad ones.
Yeah, but why risk it for somebody that seems to have a target on their back for officers?
Dude.
I don't even like talk to them, period, because it's better for me not to even gamble on that.
I don't know if I told you the story before, but I'll share it with you guys real quick. I was in the Burbank Hills, chilling with a friend of mine, and we were talking about some writing, some story writing and whatnot. And we were in the back of my car, just hanging out. It was in a park in the Burbank Hills after dark. It was already dark, and we were just talking. That's it, nothing more. A big light shows up. It was a cop.
Right.
And he knocks on the window. I open the door, and I try to like move. He's like, "Don't do anything." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Let me see your license." I give him my license. She gives him her license, and he goes, "You know that it's illegal to be here after sundown. There's a sign at the front." I'm like, "Where's the sign?" He's like, "Do you want me to show you the sign?" And it got super intimidating. I'm like, that's good. I'm good. And I let it go. Right.
Right.
He signed the tickets off. And he goes, "Don't be alarmed by the fact that this says misdemeanor." I was like, why is it a misdemeanor? He's like, "Because it's illegal. You're not supposed to be here. There's a sign that says you're not supposed to be here after hours." I went back the next day. I couldn't find one fucking sign in a 1 mile radius that said I was not allowed to be there after hours, after sundown. Not one sign. This goes a step further. I go to court. I try to challenge it. And I'm like, "Not guilty, Your Honor." He's like, "You're going to say not guilty to a $25 fine." I'm like, "Well, when you word it like that, I feel stupid. So fine, I'm guilty. Okay, I'll pay this $25 fine." I get to the window, and he's like, "Okay, it's $107, please." I'm like, the judge said it was $25. He's like, "Yeah, but there's all these court fees and this fee and this fee." I'm like, I feel like a fucking dumbass.
That's how they get you.
You can't trust the system. My dad said that the government used to, like what you were talking about before in the Talking Comments episode of experimenting on black people. He said that
the Tuskegee experiment.
He said that in subway stations, the government used to like spray people to see the effects it would have on them. Just like, I mean, maybe it was just an anecdote like that, but you can't. The Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah.
Paranoia, people.
Yeah.
You need a healthy dose of paranoia all the time. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy life, but when you go outside, you are not safe. and you need to always be ready for shit to go down.
Keep your guard up. You got to keep your mitts up because you don't know when shit's gonna go down. But then there's people that are like over paranoid. Like, have you seen that that TV shows like Doomsday Watchers or whatever it is, where people are like building all these underground forts and stocking up on food and ammo and all this stuff?
I don't see that as over paranoid. I see those people, they've got the time and the resources to do what I would be doing if I could. I would build an underground basement if I could. I live in an apartment. Yeah. But the last thing I'll end on, this is a little bit sad and dark, but the last thing I'll end on regarding this note is our mutual friend got hit by a car.
Yes.
He was walking on his break. He was just walking on his break, minding his own business, and this lady, this reckless driver, drove into him while he was on a sidewalk. He is just learning to talk again right now. It's like you have to always be on the lookout. You must always be paranoid. Someone might be trying to steal your phone, your wallet, whatever. That's why drive. Don't walk, drive. Walking might be the healthier option, but drive.
See, but my only problem with being overly paranoid is that you've seen like those National Geographic videos and they show like squirrels or deer in the middle of Serengeti or whatever it is, and they're always looking like this.
That's me.
I can't live like that, though. That's the thing, man. I can't sit there and wonder when a panther or a tiger is going to jump out at me and grab me, because a squirrel's life looks fucked up. Just it's like meerkats, always looking out for hawks. I'd rather be the lazy lion sitting in the shade like,
I can never watch Zero Dark 30 ever again. When I was watching it, I thought the theater was going to explode. I literally had, I swear to God, I had the panic that a bomb was going to go off in the theater, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Hyper-paranoia.
Every time I watch a movie, every time I go to a movie like at midnight now, or not midnight, but like a first showing, I'm always wondering like, okay, what do I do if I see someone walk out into the front, and do I assume it's a guy with a gun that's going to try to shoot everyone? Like, if I've got Chloe next to me? What's the first thing I do? I've become more paranoid ever since having a kid. Like, anyway. Let's get off this topic. I'm afraid of like shit happening right now.
Oh, man. All right. So my good thing is public shaming as a form of corporal punishment is acceptable.
Isn't corporal punishment by definition physical?
Okay, a perfect example. Like in the 1600s, back in the Plymouth Rock days era and stuff like that, they had like the stockades, the stocks, where if you stole from somebody, you killed somebody's horse, you wronged somebody and tried to cheat them, they put you in the middle of Times Square, made you sit in the stocks where your head goes through this hole and your hands go through it as well. They lock you down where you can't move, and everybody in the city can walk by, talk shit to you, throw old lettuce and garbage at you, and you learned your lesson. I think that people, especially on the internet, because of the ability to be indiscreet and hide yourself, have this fake courage. That's been going around.
Yeah, I like this. I like where this is going.
Yeah, so I think that when people do something really stupid, public shaming, especially in today's day and age with social media, I think like politicians who do fucked up shit, I don't think they should go to jail. I think they should be thrown in the stocks in the middle of Washington, D.C., in front of all of the people. Yeah. And people can throw shit on them, piss, spit on them, all that other stuff. Because I think that does way more damage than any fine, than any jail time, because you're going to be immortalized as the dumbass that fucked up in front of everybody and you got your due justice. Yeah. There's also, I'm going to downgrade it a little bit real quick. I'm going to get real fast with it. People are kind of doing on the internet right now with their kids. And I don't agree with this. I think this is taking it too far. But you'll see like these Facebook videos of some kid doing something stupid, and the mom and dad will post a video.
It's a public shaming.
Of them shaming. Yeah. I don't think it should happen to children. But if you're a grown-ass adult doing dumb stuff, we can save a lot of tax dollars in prison time and all that if we have public shaming events.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you're saying, man, because like the public shaming for kids, that's taking it a step too far. That could follow them for the rest of their lives really easily. Mm-hmm. Like the internet is kind of a permanent thing. So long as there are computers to support that data, it's a pretty permanent thing. It's not going to go away anytime soon, and it keeps circulating and circulating. By the time once it's out there. It's out there,
and it's not going nowhere.
And it can be copied and duplicated over and over and over again. So public shaming to children, I agree with you. That's a horrible idea. But the public shaming of politicians and anyone who just does fucked up shit, like I would love to track down all the people who use the N-word on Obama on YouTube and public shame all those fucking people.
Yes.
It would make me feel so good.
See, that's where I think like there's a plus to that hacking group Anonymous. they don't have the power to actually like put bullets in guns and go out there with vigilante justice.
Right.
But they use the power of shaming.
Right.
You know, they'll hack into your accounts and pull out your dick pics that you have on your phone that you were sending to somebody. They'll pull out your tax records to show how you've been like jipping the government out of funds. They'll pull out all this stuff and shame you publicly.
Right.
And I think it goes a very good long way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gives them a lot of power.
Yeah, I agree, man. And any like racist comments or trolls on the internet that are just totally unwarranted, I think should be publicly shamed.
Yeah.
I think they should be brought out into into the middle of their city and just
Right in the stockades.
Yeah.
Bring back the stockades. You save money. You save money on prisons. You save money on feeding them. Shame, and they can go back to their life. You know, I think we should have a vote. Write to your congressman and let's bring the stockades back.
All right, let's get to the bad things. My bad thing
Go.
is dark and gritty adaptations.
All right.
Recently, a lot of you guys were fawning over the Power Rangers adaptation that came out on the internet, right? And you included, Sintel. You liked
I thought
it.
it was pretty dope.
I watched that and I'm like, this is the last straw for me, man. This is like, I know I'm supposed to like this. It's dark and gritty, and oh, look, they're taking Power Rangers seriously. I don't like it. It totally misrepresents what Power Rangers is about. It's trying to make this thing that's supposed to be kind of hokey and goofy and for children. They're trying to make it super dark, super violent, super just everything that's just making it more adult natured.
Okay.
And people are like, well, you know, we grew up with it. Why can't we have an adult version now? And it's like, well, it's not just you guys that you got to think about. Power Rangers is still available on Netflix for kids to watch.
True.
And they're still making new Power Rangers series on TV.
Are kids today still watching it?
Yes. Otherwise, they would stop making it. So it's not just limited to Power Rangers. I'm tired of everything being turned into a dark and gritty adaptation. That's not the only way to do something. When they made Man of Steel, I got pissed. Like, I like the fight scenes in Man of Steel. I like how they were produced because I've always wanted to see a fight scene with gods, basically.
Right.
And it looked like gods fight. I'm like, that's how you do that.
It looked Dragon Ball.
I didn't like the movie, but those fight scenes looked awesome.
Right.
The movie overall was just so dark and serious, and I'm like, maybe it's just because I grew up with Christopher Reeves.
Right.
Right. But maybe it's because I grew up with the comics I grew up with. But even within the death of Superman, if you go back and read that, there's a lot of hokey moments in that comic. Superman's being interviewed on a talk show.
Right.
Like, come on. Like,
No.
it's not everything needs to be so fucking serious. That's why I love Guardians of the Galaxy. For once, and the only diss I have on Guardians of the Galaxy is the main bad guy, who's a great actor, by the way. He's such a serious bad guy. I'm like, come on, man, seriously? You gotta be that dark? You gotta be that gritty? You can't have fun like the rest of the movie? You gotta make this super dramatic. Come on.
I think what's going on is that all these people that grew up in these comic book eras and Saturday morning cartoons, they've all grown up now, and they've lost that childlike love. And now because life has weighed on them and they got taxes and kids and all this shit that they got to deal with, that darkness is kind of seeped into what they thought their childhood love is supposed to be, since you get these dark ass Power Rangers and the deep brooding Superman.
I don't know, man. The Dark Batman came out in the 80s,
Right.
with Frank Miller.
Uh-huh.
And that's cool. That hadn't been done before.
Okay.
And then the Tim Burton movies came out that were dark-ish, gritty-ish, but Christopher Nolan really pushed that into the territory Frank Miller was exploring.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. That's cool. But not everything needs to be the Dark Knight. Not everything needs to be that. And I like having variation. Green Lantern could have been good. That could have been a fun movie.
But that was too hokey. Just like
It was
Fantastic Four
was too hokey. Yeah, Fantastic Four was too. Well, I kind of enjoyed Fantastic Four a little bit. I enjoyed it a little bit. But Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, for the most part, with the exception of the bad guy, was a perfect balance of what I would like to see more often in comic book based movies. Not everything needs to be the Dark Knight. That's my rant.
Okay. All right.
How do you feel about it?
I don't have a problem too much. You actually kind of like went into like one of my good thing, bad things we're going to do later on regarding the Ninja Turtles. So stay tuned. So I don't want to spoil all my wad on that. But I think that as I get older, I don't have like that same childlike approach to looking at my cartoons. And if I want to still enjoy that nostalgic feel, I'm going to have a little bit of an upgrade as far as adult themes going towards it.
Did you see the new Ninja Turtles movie?
Yeah, I saw the new one.
You didn't like it at all?
You know what? I had a fun time. I watched it with my son. He had a great time. It was fun. It was hokey.
Yeah.
There was nothing serious about it at any point in time.
Right.
And that is the Ninja Turtles cartoon show that I grew up remembering.
Right, exactly.
But the comic was a little bit different. We're going to talk about the Ninja Turtles. I don't want to dive too deep into it.
Right.
For him and what most people remember about the Ninja Turtles, it was spot on. It was perfect.
Right. See, I thought it wasn't a great movie, but it had the tone.
Okay.
The tone that I grew up with that I wanted to see again. And I thought they accomplished at least the tone.
Okay.
But that's it. Okay, what's your bad thing?
My bad thing is the death of beloved characters that we grew up and loved. Ding. Now, in case you haven't been paying attention, the Ninja Turtles story has still been going on for a while. And when it very first started, the Ninja Turtles was a really dark comic. It had a lot of funny moments in it, but we didn't see the funny cowabunga Michelangelo swinging his nunchucks, eating pizza Ninja Turtles until the cartoon came on. And that's when it really went kind of like viral in a sense.
Right.
All right. And that's what most people think the Ninja Turtles are, is this funny group of mutants.
Yeah.
All right. So the whole thing's supposed to be like a play on words. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's some crazy, funny, weird shit. And then they made it like a dark kind of drama.
Yeah.
Well, the comic book has started back up. And I'm not going to play spoiler, but a beloved member in the Ninja Turtle universe gets killed.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
gone. And in a very brutal, messed up way. And to play devil's advocate, I feel a certain kind of way about this beloved member dying because they're killing off a piece of my childhood.
Right.
You know, for it to never get back, and to get back with the dark, gritty elements of it, even though the Ninja Turtles was based in dark grittiness to begin with.
Yeah.
The mainstream media, most people don't know that.
Right.
So it's like you're killing Mickey Mouse.
Right. It's evolved into a whole other thing now. It doesn't matter what the origin is anymore. It's evolved into something completely different, and you have to take that into consideration when you're making these new iterations, I think.
Right. But then again, to play the flip side of it, if you grew up with the series as a young man and now you are an adult,
Yeah.
is it acceptable for your franchises to tie in with the Power Rangers? Is it acceptable for your cartoons to grow up with you?
I'm sorry. Go say that again. I don't understand what you mean.
Okay. As we're adults, we deal with adult themes.
Yeah.
Fear, death, paranoia, all of that. When you're a child, you don't deal with that. Okay, so when you're watching these hokey things like the Smurfs or the Ninja Turtles, you can't process that type of life because you haven't really truly lived a life and fully understand those consequences.
Okay.
But as an adult, you want content that you're familiar with to grow up with you.
Kind of, yeah. I think there's a way to do it, and I think Pixar used to nail it. If you watch Finding Nemo, you're dealing with a lot of like adult themes in there that it flies right over kids for the most part.
Right.
Big Hero 6 is a great example.
I was really surprised what they did in Big Hero 6.
And it's like that appeals to kids. Like Chloe's watching it next to me, and she's fine just watching it. I'm crying. I'm tearing up, and I'm trying hard to hold back my tears because it's touching me on a very deep, intimate level.
Right.
I think there's a fine middle ground that you can reach that does both. That maintains the youth, a youthful sense, and also grows up with you at the same time. That's my thing. That's how I feel about it. I don't think you need to go to this extreme where they're saying bad words and blood is flying and heads are falling off and everything sucks and it's dark and fucked up and Power Rangers are being killed. They killed the Black Ranger. Like, fuck you. No.
They killed damn near everybody in that short.
But you can't kill the Black Ranger.
Is that like the Hollywood rule? You can't kill like old people, dogs, and black people?
No, well, Walter Jones is a friend of mine. I know he's not a friend, but I know him.
Right.
And he's a great guy. And I'm like, to evolve his character into this dick who gets killed off made me sad. I'm like, no, he's too good of a guy for that shit. Don't do that. All right, my good thing was Paranoia. Your good thing was?
My good thing was public shaming as a form of corporal punishment.
My bad thing was dark and gritty adaptations.
And my bad thing is the death of lovable characters that we've grown up with.
Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Check out our next episode when it drops by subscribing. Subscribe. Please subscribe. It means so much to me.
Tell your friends.
I love you guys. Thank you, Ireland. Thank you, Sweden. Bye-bye.
Peace out.